People are confused. They've lost the touch of the originals and what made what's popular popular. So I think we should tap on that.
Genetics. It's really all about it. And, if you're looking for a particular flavor profile, particular effect, you're going to look at the genetics and you're going to look at the listing and, naming off some of the more popular ones these days and finding out, okay, who are the parents? What characteristics are they famous for? You know what I mean? I think that's going to be a great conversation.
Yeah. And especially, again, recently we talked about land races. So we went into some of the originals and the things that made these characteristics what they are and talked about preservation. And really, a lot of these genetics kind of have preserved some of the original traits. The problem is they've been oversaturated now, too. When we're talking about, again, old school, we'll talk Afghani. That being something that's been bred into a million things, nobody even knows Afghani had any part of anything. They just know the parent that they saw, the next one. Something into a blueberry, like Thai with Afghani. They'll know that. We'll talk about DJ Short's blueberry, but no one will realize the parents of that. And that's where I think you can find what's going to give you those traits that are desirable. If you don't know where it's coming from, you won't know how it's going to grow. That'll help me knowing like a farmer's almanac. Like I'm going to be able to predict this one could have these stretchy, gangly traits, or, well, of course it's going to be low and squatty. It's the Pakistan Valley cross. If you don't have the lineage and know where it came from, you don't even know how to grow it. You're just a consumer, which isn't bad. I mean, you can be a consumer. I'm just saying it's tough. You got to arm yourself with valuable information.
100%. And you know what? I love having a conversation around this beautiful plant of ours because, as someone who gets into growing and has been in growing for quite some time, even I have a hard time trying to find some of the original genetics of a lot of these greats. And I'm surprised when I hear, White Widow, for example. It's a Brazilian land race as well. Crossed with like an Indian land race. So you've got two land races, brings us a White Widow that everybody knows, but even I had no idea that it was actually composed of two land races.
Yeah, it didn't take so much to make them. Again, with the hazes, hazes like 4 different land races together. So it's like, this brings you back as close as you can get to a land race, but then created more of the popular genetics. Without this hybrid, you wouldn't have had the next ones. You'll see like the project I've been working on for too long that I should abandon. The Sherbert the Pervert, I'm calling it. So that's the East Coast Sour Diesel and Tom Hill Haze crossed. Then that being crossed with Sherb Cream Pie, which is some, a Sherb BX1 and ice cream cake cross. So it's a cross of a cross with a cross of a cross. It's almost too far, but you can trace back where those original ones came from. The problem is knowing the traits that are coming from it. I'm creating my version of an F1. Too many variables to say that this is guaranteed to give you the old school effect of East Coast Sour Diesel. Sour Diesel is a prime example. That being in Headbanger, Biker Kush and Sour Diesel, Headbanger, you got to take a dab every time I say it. That one is like, if you get the traits out of it that lean towards the Sour Diesel, you have to hunt for it. It's not guaranteed. You don't always have it. But if you get it, it's so original Sour Diesel with a hint of the Kush that makes you remember why this one's popular. It's just, if you don't like sour diesels, don't even get into that. You need to know the parents first.
And if you can't grow well, don't even get into it, because sour
true.
diesel is historically one of the more difficult ones to grow. I mean, I had a sour diesel before and it was struggling compared to all the other plants I had in the same grow space. And come to find out, after doing a little bit more research, a lot of people have difficulty with having that plant grow successfully. And so it does certainly do your research in regards to genetics if you're going to be growing them or even like breeding with them, right? And really, I think it goes back to pollen chucking versus ethical breeding, right? Because you could sit there and take couple crosses and cross them blindly, not know what you're looking for, and just see what you get, right? That's pollen chucking versus doing your research, finding what characteristics are in each genetic, then doing the cross, and then kind of seeing what you get in the offspring and see if those characteristics that you're looking for are actually in there or not,
Yeah. Well, again, Shillette OG is what I call it because I say it so much. The Pakistan Valley is what I got the most of. P got the brisker, but it was strategic breeding that brought that out. So you can tell me what I should expect. It's like, well, you could get this. Like, man, the first time I ordered, I think it was Blueberry Muffin. Yeah, Blueberry Muffin from Humble Seed Company. That one, every single portion of what they said I should expect, it was. It literally, like everything, I'm like, oh, wow, they know this genetic. This was very calculated in how they did it. Versus other ones, it'll be like, well, Well, you could get a coffee version. You could get lemon version. You could get gas versions. You can get, it's like, dude, I'm gambling here. I've got a 1 in 50 chance of getting what you're advertising. You know, like by having strategic breeding, we can calculate this stuff. White Widow was a prime one that there was a Blue Widow. So blueberry crossed with White Widow. So 2 land races creating this and this coming together. That was really cool. But then the Blue Widow crossed with Chocolope. That creates another, and then another, and now I don't even have the White Widow traits.
God, I haven't heard Chocolope in
Remember
so
Chocolope?
long. Yeah,
I know,
Yep,
like these
I
are
had
names
Chocolope.
like old school, Agent Orange. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Again, the sour diesels always stand out, but a real OG Kush. You know, a lot of people don't realize that came from the Hindu Kush, and I think it's Chemdog and Hindu Kush together create an OG. No, I'm messing that one up. Drop below in the comment section if you're watching this. But those traits remain. Cushy flavor is a description. You know what I'm saying? And that comes all the way through. The difference now is the flower time, the way it stacks, the color, things like that. But you don't lose that trait because you strategically are keeping it on that family and that line. You know, I think if more people had that thought process, like we talked in the landrace video of preservation of these genetics, they would breed with intention more. So they're like, well, I want to make sure that this is on my White Widow line. This is on my Girl Scout cookie line. Like it'll remain this flavor, but a slight variation. So Hank's done a great job of that with the papaya syrup and like 5 different genetics.
Mhm.
So you can really get a hint of the sweet that you remember, but then there's also this new flavor sprinkled on top, you know?
We talk about the sour diesel. I know that Ocean Grown took the sour diesel and they crossed it, and they did San Andreas diesel, and they kind of bred out some of the difficulties that sour diesel struggles with, and that's knowing your homework, understanding what you're dealing with, and then creating something that counters its negative attributes. And that's San Andreas diesel. Great grower. Yeah, I trained the living daylights out of it, and it loved every minute of it. So
Yeah,
knowing your homework.
Well,
And-
Doggo had that one outside, and he was like, holy crap, look at the growth. He's like, this one's already done.
Yeah.
Wow. But it's, again, strategic breeding to put you in a position to maintain the effect and flavor or the characteristics you're after, while giving you these new traits, breeding out the bad, breeding in the good. If you're just pollen chucking, you're probably going to, it's like random breeding with people. You know, might have 3 great kids and one that comes out handicapped. Like it could happen. You got to look at the lineage of the person and the family and how your health is and everything. Plants have the same type of genetic code in that sense. You can strategically breed these together. I don't want something that always is susceptible to stress at all times. Like it's a tough feeder. Sour diesel tends to be that one for me. Or light stress, little things that no other plants deal with, but this one does. So you have to adapt your growing style for these original pieces of the genetic code. I want to see more people take some of these and make them easy for us home growers, because the indoor grow climate is what it is. From my house to your house, you know what I'm saying? Like we're going to keep it the same. AI controller from AC Infinity. I'm going to do photo period. I'm going to do flower. It's not going to be like, are you in Las Vegas or are you in Michigan? You know what I'm saying? So we don't have these needs to acclimate to the regions to keep these things. Now we need to breed down, not breed out, but breed down to preserve the good part and get rid of shit we don't want. You know, that'd be beautiful.
Yep.
This FTS clip was brought to you by AC Infinity, leaders in garden innovation. Use discount code TheStash15 at checkout to save some money on your order.
From the Stash Podcast.